Joining us in the studio is a young man by the name of Jake Dryzal, who has a new CD out titled Great American Racer. Curious to hear about this new work and also the stories behind it. Jake's great to have you with us here today.
Yeah, thank you, Bo, for having me.
Hey, a young guy from Wimber getting into some very heavy subject matter here. Really interesting. I'm curious as to what motivates you to write the stories you do.
Well, I was born in Johnstown. I grew up in Wimber, but I would visit Johnstown to see my grandma. And I like growing up in the area, but like when I was, driving out and around, seeing all the empty buildings and like all the, potholes on the street, I was like, why are things the way they are? Mm-hmm. And as I grew older, I learned about the town's history of the 3 floods and how over time the industry's kind of declined here. And it just really bothered me that I was like, being grown up in a community that, was past its glory days.
Right.
And, I would always see articles in the newspaper and like see stuff on WJC about, the community struggles and about the drugs that we have here, the drug problem that we have here.
Right.
It was like every day there would be someone overdosing on heroin or like getting Narcan. And it was just a really unfortunate thing. And I, kind of thinking, maybe this is a little bit exaggerated. Maybe they're blowing it out of proportion. But, as I grew older and I started to witness that among my friends and family, I was like, this is a serious problem. Yeah. And I just decided that the best outlet to like kind of express those frustrations in a way is through my music. So, right. And that's what led to Great American Racer.
And you express that not only on the songs, but the notes that you have inside too.
Yes.
Seeing the correlation between the dwindling economy and the drug abuse, especially, which you specifically talk about, the drug abuse. And
right.
We all know some people who have been affected by that.
Exactly.
It's really hit towns that have been in that Rust Belt situation
yep.
all over the place, but especially in this region.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really important to bring that to light in my music. So,
yeah. So who has inspired you as an artist?
Well, musically, I would say Bruce Springsteen was a huge inspiration
mm-hmm.
for this album. A lot of folk from like the 70s. Simon and Garfunkel was a huge influence. Leonard Cohen, Nick Drake, people like
wow.
them.
Yeah.
As well as a lot of guitar pop
mm-hmm.
on this album. I grew up listening to REM, and I feel like I channel a lot of their sound
wow.
on this album.
Yeah.
Counting Crows, Red House Painters, Innocence Mission, groups
mm-hmm.
like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
You've mentioned some good ones, and as a young man your age in college, discovering REM was something that was really amazing. The early work that they did was just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Whole career, but I just especially love the stuff that they did real early.
Oh, me too. And that's funny you mention that because I grew up listening to like Out of Time
mm-hmm.
and like Losing My Religion a lot.
Which is a great album.
It is a really good album.
But they took a pop kind of turn on it.
They did.
Yeah.
And the REM that I was really channeling was their really early material like Murmur,
mm-hmm.
Chronic Town.
Oh, yeah.
Those albums.
Mm-hmm.
They're just so great.
Absolutely. Jake Dryzal, local songwriter. Performance coming up here, which we look forward to. Denny Michael at Voma.
Yes, sir.
I saw him a few weeks ago, and he was singing your praises. And he's a guy that doesn't impress easily. And he said, you ought to reach out to this young man. It's pretty phenomenal what he's going to do. You're going to be performing songs from Great American Racer. You're also going to have the CD release there that night, aren't you?
Yep, the album comes out on March 24th, and that is when the album release party will be. Doors at 7, music begins at 7:30. I'm going to be playing the whole album front to back,
mm-hmm.
doing a little Q&A, and I will have all the CDs available there. Portion of all profits will be donated to local anti-drug and rehabilitation causes in the state of
Wonderful.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Felt like it was really important to be, giving back to the community and inspire positive change with this album. So I'm really excited to work with the local community in promoting this album.
That's awesome, Jake. Voma, Venue of Merging Arts in historic Cambria City. For those that don't know, across the street from Aces on Chestnut Street, just a great venue. And you get to see some really interesting acts there, many of them performing some original music, and it's just great to have. There's just something, to me, different about that Cambria City vibe. As soon as you walk into the community, it's beautiful. And, especially Voma, which is a converted church. It just has that feel, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
Absolutely great. Well, Jake, you brought your guitar with you. Thank you for doing that.
You're very welcome.
What are we going to hear today?
So you're going to hear a song called Porches. This was the second single off the album, and it's just all singer-songwriter acoustic, so
yeah,
very fitting
great
for
stuff.
the situation.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jake Dryzal.
What in the hell ever happened to our shared warmth? It was the 4th of July and the fireworks lit up the skyline onto a street. And you, my old friend, I was sitting right by on your porch, and the red against black penetrated the white of your skin like a reflective angel. Now you're welcome to a world unknown, trapped inside a dream that won't end while this world turns around us. Drove past your house for the millionth time this week, with the memorabilia of youth and the longing for answers, the struggle for truth. And I swear that I saw your old bicycle under the steps, took that baby for miles, and I'd follow through D and through E and through crumbling homes. And like Spirit, it's so tragic, you faded too, lost and apart like a boat out to sea with no hope to find a harbor. Grass in our hair, the sounds of trains miles away. It was 71 with the sun down, sky a deep red like the shirt you had on. And that very night when the Patriot dimmed, I just thought, what would happen to us down the road? Child at heart becomes China and white. And I'll sing to the air that I breathe like you did. These strings are the pulse to a distorted memory, wipe away the tears I say when I play on my porch.
Oh, that is awesome. Jake Dryzal. So it has to be a thrill for you after compiling all of these songs to be able to perform them in front of
Absolutely.
others and to get that immediate reaction also. I think that's going to be a real thrill, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Especially since this album took me 5 years to make. You know, for these songs to finally see the light of day is just incredible, and I'm looking forward for people to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing for people to buy the CD or download the music, but to get that immediate reaction.
Exactly.
You know? And I'm sure that there can't be a better feeling than making a connection with somebody that really feels it, you know, of what the words that you put on paper and are conveying that story then too. Just has to be a great feeling. Just a little background information here. I had a conversation with your dad last week who said even as a very young kid, when you were taking guitar lessons from Don Wozniak, great guy in this region, by the way, that when you would do the recitals, everybody'd be doing pieces from the the books and other kind of simple kind of things. You'd create your own songs.
Yep.
Even as a kid, you did that, huh?
Yep. I remember the very first picnic that the Johnstown School of Music held, and it was like everyone was doing stuff from the books, and I had to do some stuff from the books too, but like when I was on stage, it'd be like, hey everybody, it's me, Jake Dryzal, and I'd like perform some like very early originals.
Yeah.
I remember winning a trophy for my performance my first year. Like, I've always had stage presence. I've loved performing in front of people my entire life. So
That's awesome. Well, you get a chance to see Jake Dryzal on Friday night at Voma. And again, some details about that, Jake.
Yeah, so doors at 7, music at 7:30. I'll be playing the entire Great American Racer album front to back. It's going to have all the backing tracks. It's going to be me performing acoustic guitar and singing. The lyrics will be on the screen for people to view so they can really convey the story. There'll also be a little Q&A and discussion, and my CDs will be available for sale.
And if people want to reach out information about you, maybe they can't make it Friday night, but they want to find out more about you and how they can get a hold of your great work.
Well, add me on Facebook. I also have a Facebook page and Instagram page for Great American Racer. They're both called that, Great American Racer. Also, be sure to check out my website, greatamericanracer.com.
Love meeting creative people and seeing how the process works, Jake. Keep doing what you do. Love hearing these stories, and anybody that makes music and puts it out there, shares this. I just think it's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Bo, for having me. Appreciate it.